Welcome to Key West, the vibrant, free-spirited Florida island paradise where every day is an adventure and every night's a party.
On this channel, we spent nearly 2 weeks road tripping through the Florida Keys, and after exploring some of the clearest waters, eating some of the freshest seafood, and going on some epic adventures, we already understand why the Keys is such a special place for so many people.
But no Keys trip is complete without spending a couple crazy days in Key West. And in this video, we're gonna do just that while showing you the very best of Key West, starting off with one of its many highly rated food destinations, Sunny Eggs. Now this cafe may be small, but it packs in a whole lot of character into this space. Now one thing when we were researching Key West that stood out to me was their pastry display here. Now we are here later in the day, so they are sold out of a lot of their items, but if you go to their Instagram page, you will see their pastries look really impressive. Now we started off with an iced latte with pistachio flavoring and it just arrived. I like that. The coffee flavor is strong and you can really taste the pistachio. We're here around 1 in the afternoon, but we are still in the mood for breakfast. So I ordered the palm breakfast, which is one of their most popular menu items, and Skylar went with the salmon cocotte.
So not only have I never had a cocotte before, I actually had to ask the staff how to pronounce it. They said it's a French dish and it looks really good. It has salmon, eggs, some sort of cream sauce, and some pesto. I'm excited to try it. Wow, that dish is super rich, very flavorful, very buttery. The flavors of the salmon and the pesto mix together really well.
I'm starting off with this bacon. It is really thin. Good balance of crispy, chewy, and salty. I decided to make an open-faced sandwich with everything basically but the eggs and the potatoes. Oh my gosh, that bread is fantastic. I would eat it with nothing on it. Excellent.
Now we had pretty high expectations for Sunny Eggs given its excellent online reviews, and I gotta say it did not disappoint. We loved the atmosphere. It reminded us of a little cafe like the ones that we visited when we were in Spain, and the food was really good as well. We both thought the bread was amazing, and we will definitely be coming back someday to try more of their baked goods. Our second stop of the day is known for being one of the best spots on all of Key West for live music. And that's saying a lot considering you can catch a band almost anywhere around here. Now the band behind me has definitely already started. They sound great, so we'll see you in there.
The Green Parrot dates all the way back to 1890 when it was originally constructed as a grocery store. Then during World War II, it transformed into a sailor bar. And then in the 1970s, the sailors moved out and the hippies moved in, and the bar that so many people and chickens have grown to know and love was born.
Now this bar is 100% our type of place. It has cheap drinks, a dive bar atmosphere, a ton of history, it's rooster friendly, and it has great music throughout the week. What more could you ask for?
The van went on break, so the chicken's going home.
Now, if you spend any time in the Keys, then you know that they can be a little bit pricey, but fortunately in Key West, there are happy hours all over the place, many of which run 7 days a week. And the one at the spot behind me has to be one of the most unique ones out there. We'll show you what I mean right now.
Now here at General Horseplay, if you visit during the week from 3 to 6 or on the weekends from noon to 3, they have a really special happy hour. You get to roll a die for any drink that you purchase under $20. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, that drink is full price. If you roll a 3, the drink is half price. If you roll a 2, it's $2, and if you roll a 1, it's $1. They have some really unique craft cocktails here. I ordered the Unicorn Heart, and Skylar ordered the Spiced Banana Daiquiri. Next, we'll show you if we had any luck rolling the dice. So that drink is refreshing, but a little bit bitter because I think they use rhubarb bitters. And I absolutely love that it comes with a strawberry covered in edible glitter.
That is really good. They definitely use real banana in there and not some sort of cheap syrup. The rum flavor is really good, but it's quite smooth. And to be able to get that drink or any of their other high quality cocktails for $1 or $2 with a little bit of luck is an amazing deal and a lot of fun. Now it's safe to say luck was on our side at General Horseplay, but even if it hadn't been, we still would have had a great time. Now if you end up visiting General Horseplay during happy hour, be sure to let us know in the comments what you rolled. Now we still have one more happy hour to hit today, but first we're going to take you to one of the most iconic spots in all of the Florida Keys.
Right behind me is supposedly the most photographed spot in all of Florida. People come from around the world to take a picture with the southernmost point buoy. A fun fact about this area is that it was originally marked with a small sign, and it was stolen so many times until it was replaced by this concrete structure which couldn't be stolen. Now if you can't pass up a photo with the buoy, keep in mind there are usually long lines and there is not much shade.
Now our second happy hour spot brings us here to the Alamo, which is actually just a few steps from General Horseplay. We came here for dinner because they have some really good happy hour food specials, but we found they got some great drink specials too. I got this juicy pale ale for $6 and Jamie got an NA Mezcal margarita. Not only do they have some great food and drink specials going on right now, but like so many other spots in Key West, they also have live music.
For our food, we ordered the tuna nachos, the fresh catch fish bites, and one smash burger slider, and it has pesto mayo on it. We've been eating so much fish over the last few days in the Keys that I'm actually gonna try this burger first. The bun is really soft, and I really like that pesto mayo sauce.
At just $9, these tuna nachos are basically like half the price of any other tuna nachos you'll find in the Keys, but they look really good and they come with guacamole. The chips are really light and crunchy. The tuna tastes pretty fresh, and for $9, I don't know if you can find anything better than this. Next up is the fresh catch fish bites, which are yellowtail snapper, and honestly when these things came out they kind of looked like kids chicken nuggets. I wasn't super excited about them, but man, they taste so much better than they look. The batter is light but flavorful, and they come with 2 different dipping sauces. I'm really enjoying it in the sweet one. The final stop of our first day here in Key West takes us to Fort Zachary Taylor State Park. Not only does this state park have the best rated beaches in all of Key West, but it's also the location of the southernmost fort in the entire continental US, and is where you'll find the country's largest collection of seacoast canyons. So the trail to the fort does have bathrooms with soda machines, and apparently it also has a blacksmith shop. So we made it to the entrance to the fort. It was a nice quick walk, but bad news is it closes at 5, so we're not going to be able to show it to you. But good news is that means we're going to be able to spend that much more time on the beach.
We made it out to the beach right before sunset. This area is quite shaded with a lot of picnic tables, and while the beach itself isn't that big, it is really pretty. Now, even though the iconic buoy is known as the southernmost point in the continental United States, this beach is actually even further south.
Now, I gotta admit, while I love the Keys, I haven't been overly impressed with the beaches on them. But this beach is actually pretty nice. The sand's pretty soft, it's pretty clean, and while it isn't nearly as big as some of the beaches back home, it's decent size. Plus, it looks like it's gonna be a great spot to catch sunset.
About an hour ago, we really weren't expecting much from this sunset because it was pretty cloudy, but it looks like the clouds are clearing out just in time for a good one.
Good morning, guys. We got a beautiful sunrise here at the resort, and we are especially happy to see clear skies this morning because we have a fishing charter booked in Key West. Now, it is pretty windy out though. I'm not sure how that will affect the charter, but we're hoping that it's a little bit calmer in Key West. Popping a couple Dramamine pills because unlike Jamie, I do get seasick, and it looks like there might be some chop out there today.
Good morning. We are up a little bit earlier than usual because we are on our way back to Key West to meet up with Captain Edward and go out fishing with Reef Runner Charters.
So similar to the last Florida fishing trip we went out on, I think we were both a little bit nervous that this one would be canceled. When we checked the weather last night, today's forecast was looking pretty rainy, but when we woke up this morning, we were happy to see that it looks quite a bit better.
Reef Runner has some great reviews on Fishing Booker, and from our research, it looks like they offer a variety of fishing experiences, including inshore, offshore, and reef fishing. Ultimately, I think we're going to talk to the captain to see what's in season, what's biting, and where they're biting before we decide what type of fish we're going for today. We're here at the marina in Key West, and we found a kitty in a boat. As soon as we arrived, we met Captain Edward and Captain Tom, and we're on our way on the 34-foot Crusader. The plan was to head around 8 miles offshore, just outside of a big reef, to fish for mahi and water around 400 feet deep. I really appreciated that the Reef Runner vessel had plenty of shade and even a small bathroom, as we were going to be out on the water for 6 hours. So while Captain Tom drives this boat, Captain Edward is getting all of our lines out with a variety of lures.
We're going to come across a coral rock bar right out here. We're in what we call the gully.
Okay.
We've left the reef about 120 feet deep here, and when you see the water turn blue, that's where it drops off for good.
Okay. So we're heading to that water.
All of the fish love this lure. You can catch anything on it. It looks like a tail going through the water. It's supposed to resemble a bonita strip. So while we are fishing for mahi, there is a chance we could catch a lot of other kinds of fish out here too.
There are definitely some waves out here today. I'm really glad I took that Dramamine right now. So the captain said that mahi actually bite better when there are waves and also when there's a 90-degree wind out of the east. And we have both of those conditions today, so we should be catching some.
These two rods right here are our long riggers. These are the furthest ones back. They're about 80, 90 yards back on the surface. We have two artificials on here. We have a squid chain on this side and a little chugger on this side. This rigger right here is our left short rigger. It's the bait that's skipping back there. I don't know if you guys can quite see it on the video back there. It's about 40 yards behind the boat. This is our short rigger. This one's close to the teaser. When the fish see the teaser and they fall over, they generally hit this one first. Then this rod right over here, you guys, this is called our downrigger rod. This rod, we're mainly targeting wahoos, barracudas, and bigger fish. We have a bigger lure down there with a bigger presentation to try to tune in those bigger fish, okay? We have wire leader on here, which helps us with the wahoo bite, and the barracudas for the fish that have teeth, we don't get cut off. Last but not least, this line right over here is called our flat line. The flat line is always the closest one to the boat, and it's right in the prop wash about 25 yards behind the boat. A lot of people think fish are scared of the boat, but not necessarily. The prop wash from the propeller, the white water going back, looks like fish feeding on bait. So when fish see that white wash, they come up and see what's going on, and then they see our flat line in there and they hit that one first.
We ended up going about 9.5 miles out instead of 8, because at 8 miles there's still a lot of seagrass in the water, and out here 9.5 miles out we're not seeing nearly as much of it.
I learned from the captain that Key West is one of the few spots in the world that can fish 2 major bodies of water. So certain times of the year they tend to go out in the Gulf, and other times of the year they go out in the Atlantic. Today we're out in the Atlantic.
If we happen to get into a school of Mahi today, which all the rods could go down, we could potentially get 4 or 5 on at one time. If you hear me say stop reeling, that's because there's a school back there following all the others. If we keep one in the water, we can potentially hook other fish. And then we'll rotate rods and we'll take turns and we'll work as a team and get in a rhythm and we'll try to catch every single one of them back there. Or at least everyone that wants to cooperate with us, you know. You can't trust fish, you guys.
The next hour or so was pretty uneventful, but not for lack of trying. All 4 of us were keeping an eye out for birds and debris in the water, where you can often find fish nearby. Captain Edward was constantly monitoring our lines and making adjustments, and eventually he spotted a bird in the distance, so Captain Tom headed in that direction. It wasn't long after that when we had our first fish on the line.
Pretty fish is gonna be a little small. They're gonna be about 20 inches or bigger, okay? So
Okay.
We're gonna let her go.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
Good job, you guys.
Prior to this trip, we had only been to Key West on cruise ships, and that just really doesn't give a person enough time to experience Key West or to consider a fishing excursion like this. So once we decided that we were finally going to be spending a few days in Key West, we knew we had to book a fishing experience because Key West is known to be one of the top fishing destinations in the world.
After catching the one small mahi, we kept trolling and trolling and trolling. While we kept getting bites, nothing was getting hooked until Captain Edward decided to switch something up.
So the captain has been paying attention to how the fish are behaving, and he says they've just been snacking. So he's switching out one of our lines to have a smaller lure and hopefully get their interest.
After that adjustment, we had a fish on the line within minutes.
Got a barracuda.
Wow! First time catching a barracuda. We just passed the NOAA Key West wave buoy, so if you go on their website, that's the buoy that tells you how big the waves are in this area.
Another barracuda, a little bit bigger this time.
All right!
A little bit bigger there.
Oh, I want to stay away from that thing. Oh my gosh!
Now you may have noticed that so far I have been the only one reeling in the fish, and that's because Skylar does experience motion sickness and the waves were getting to him, but soon he would have no choice but to jump in and start fishing.
Come over here, we got another one in the front.
So it went from nothing to 4 on. Skylar's got the first one in. Oh, it's a little guy. I'm holding mine. All right, so I'm reeling mine in and Skylar's still holding on his. This one was out really far because I'm still reeling. I see it. It almost looks blue in the water. And I see Skylar's too. Ooh, there it is, there it is.
That one right there, okay? That one you're gonna hold with your right hand.
Right hand? Oh, okay.
Put your legs right here.
All right, this one's coming in. All right. Woo! Oh my gosh, oh, that was so exciting.
So even though I was feeling a little bit seasick, once we got 3 mahi on the line, I didn't have a choice but to help reel them in. And I gotta admit, the adrenaline kind of took over. I wasn't feeling seasick at all, and it was so much fun. Oh yeah, I can tell just by watching Jamie reel this in that it's a bigger one. You got it, Jamie?
Yeah, you only got 300 yards to go. Catch your breath. Now we go down to it. Get too hard, catch your breath. Then we go down to it.
Oh, it's so close. Wow, it's a beast. Come on, Jamie. You got it, you got it. Oh, wow.
Good job.
That was some work. Now, I think that is the biggest fish I've ever reeled in. And thank goodness Captain Edward was there to give me pointers and tips on how to get it to the boat, because it was exhausting.
Now, as you would probably expect, there are no shortage of fishing charters here in Key West, and normally it'd be pretty hard to choose one, but we just use the Fishing Booker app, and they make it really easy because you can sort by different criteria. It allows you to filter by things such as price, trip duration, and type of fishing, and we couldn't be any happier that we ended up with Reef Runner.
I really like that some of the captains include videos on their Fishing Booker. Oh, you got a fish on the line.
Go. 2 on, got 3 on. 4 on.
4 on.
That's 3, that's 3.
Back to 3.
4.
Back to 4. It's such a roller coaster. Woo! In that run, we caught 5 and we kept 1. Now, back to what I was talking about before I was interrupted by the mahi. I really like that a lot of the captains put videos on their Fishing Booker profiles because they usually share a little bit of background about how they got into fishing. So you feel like you kind of know them a bit before you actually meet them in person.
After watching Captain Edward's video, we had no doubt that he would show us a good time, so we booked with the Reef Runner through the Fishing Booker app, and it was quick, easy, and secure.
We spent the next hour or so trying to catch some more mahi. While we were having some good luck, most of the ones we reeled in were too small to keep.
So we are just learning things left and right out here. So when we were catching the mahi, I thought it was kind of weird that when the fish were way out in the water, oh, never mind. Woo! I thought it was kind of weird that whenever we were fishing and I saw the mahi way out in the water, they looked blue, but I thought it was just because of the color of the water. But the captain told us that they do actually change color. Usually by the time you get them in the boat, they're more of a green-yellow color. Got us up.
You're the jumper.
Oh yeah, that's a good shot.
All right. Woo! Finally got a big one. After pulling in a bunch of small mahi while watching Jamie pull in big ones, I finally got a big one of my own. I think Jamie's is still the biggest, but that one's a pretty close second.
After a successful day of fishing in the Atlantic, it was time to relax and head in.
We do have to thank Fishing Booker for hosting us on this charter to allow us to share this exciting experience with you all. They have taken it a step further and partnered with us to offer our viewers a special discount. All you have to do is go to fishingbooker.com/Explorcation and sign up for a new account. There you can claim a $50 credit that you can use on a fishing charter anywhere in the world through October 20th of this year.
And if you do end up booking a charter out of Key West, we would highly recommend Reef Runner, as both Captain Edward and Captain Tom went above and beyond to make sure we had a great experience.
So we're having to make a little bit of a detour because Skylar's hat flew off. It is
Really making Tom show us his skills.
Captain Tom is doing a great job backing this up to Skylar's hat. You know, we made it like the entire trip without something falling off the boat. This is, yeah, the calmest part of the trip. All right, all right. Yes!
That's a nice one. Look at that one.
Yes.
There you go. There's your trophy text.
Thank you.
Once we made it back to the marina, we took a minute to check out all of our keepers and had one filleted for a couple meals.
The tarpon and nurse shark are here waiting for the scraps. These tarpon are huge. So we're here at Blue Heaven because we got a lot of recommendations for this place. And then when we looked it up online, it said that they would cook your own fresh catch. Now we arrived around 4 o'clock, but the kitchen doesn't open for dinner until 5. But good news is they have a happy hour going on. So we have no problem hanging out in this beautiful courtyard under the shade, drinking half-price drinks and hanging out with the chickens. Apparently we can also hang out with the iguanas here. Oh, there's a rooster. Hey buddy, see you later.
So for happy hour here, they do half-price beers, wines, and a few specialty cocktails. I got a Founder's Porter for $3, which is an absolute steal. As you can probably tell, it went down really well, so it's time for me to get my second drink. So for drink number 2, I got something called the contiguous. It's a cocktail with a couple different types of rum, pineapple juice, and I already forgot what else. Got to mix in that floater. That's really good. It's got a flavor that I don't recognize. There was velvet something in there. I don't know what it is. It is a very good drink. Quite sweet, but I like it.
So tonight there were 2 different options we could choose for our fresh catch. We went with the one with pasta because we've been in the Keys for 5 days and haven't had any pasta. And we also had to order their cheeseburger because honestly, it was sounding really good. It comes with a Vermont cheddar sauce and onion jam. It just sounded really delicious.
So initially I just tried the fish by itself, and I think both me and Jamie thought by itself it was a little bit bland. Once you try it with the pasta and the sauce, it is amazing. They definitely cook the fish to go with the other 2 things in the entree, and when you eat it all together, it's great. So I think I was expecting the highlight of that burger to be the burger itself because it is made of Wagyu beef, and honestly, I think my favorite part of this burger is the bun and that cheese sauce. Both are amazing. Overall, it's a really solid burger.
Now there's actually another reason we came here to Blue Heaven, and that is to try their key lime pie, because from our research, supposedly the key lime pie they serve here is the closest to the original recipe, which was made all the way back in 1931 right here in Key West. Now just for reference, this is how big this pie is and how tall the meringue is. So I don't know if this is recommended, but I'm gonna try to take a bite all the way down the front. Maybe not recommended, there we go. Okay. One more bite. So that was absolutely not what I expected. We have never had a key lime pie anywhere close to this, I think. So that meringue, it's not super sweet, and it's almost the consistency of angel food cake. It's still really good, still very unique. I would say come here and try it and see what you think about it, but it is not what I expected.
Now I do agree with Jamie, the consistency of that meringue is a little bit different. It's kind of sponge-like almost, but I really enjoy the filling. It's quite tart. I think I'd really like this piece of key lime pie if it had a little less meringue, but it's easy to cut a little bit of it off, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm sure I'm gonna really enjoy it.
If you're somebody that likes to try unique things, then this is a can't miss stop to come by and try their key lime pie. But if you're somebody that doesn't like to stray from what's become known as the traditional key lime pie, then you might want to skip it.
After dinner, we decided to make the drive back to our resort to get a good night's sleep so we could make the most of our last day in Key West.
We're starting our day off here at Doing Work Coffee because we have a lot of places we want to take you here in Key West today, and we're going to need all the energy we can get to make it to all of them. Now, one unique thing about Doing Work is that they do offer coffee beans that are aged in rum barrels. I did order a hot latte with some of those coffee beans, and I enjoy it quite a bit. I should say, though, I also like rum, but the rum flavor is pretty subtle. I got mine with no sweetener, but I do think it might be even a little bit better with some caramel or butterscotch syrup.
This place is located inside Wicked Lick Ice Cream, which makes nitrogen ice cream on site. I ordered an iced latte with their non-barrel aged beans and just a little bit of vanilla syrup. They put 3 shots of espresso in this, so the coffee flavor is really robust. I think it's delicious. I did try Skylar's barrel aged drink, and I gotta say, I do prefer the non-barrel aged beans. If you do plan on coming to this place, it is quite small and there are no public restrooms, so you have to go next door to Wendy's, but over there you do have to buy something to use it. It just went from sunny to pouring in a matter of seconds.
Our next stop is one of the most popular attractions in all of Key West, the Ernest Hemingway home. Now, this house is over 170 years old and for a few years was home to Ernest Hemingway. Now, they do offer guided tours 7 days a week, but from my research, it kind of looks like you can just wander around in there as well. We'll find out shortly. So we just got onto the Hemingway property, and you definitely do have to pay the admission fee whether or not you decide to go in the house. I do think we can still go in there and wander around without doing the guided tour, but if you're going to pay the admission fee and you have the time, you might as well do the tour.
From our research, I knew that this property was going to be gorgeous to roam around, but I was definitely most excited to come here and see the cats. Ernest Hemingway was gifted a white cat named Snow White, and it had 6 toes on it. And even though that cat passed away long ago, its legacy lives on. The staff said that currently there are 57 cats that live on the property, and around half of them have the 6-toed gene. You are able to pet the cats here, but you're not allowed to pick them up.
So we just learned that this cat right here is Ted. He's very friendly, and we learned that while his brothers did get the 6-toed gene, he only has 5.
There are a ton of cat houses throughout the property. Now this kitty is smart. It's hanging out inside where there's a little AC. Kitty found the best place in the house, I'd say. Oh, you hear that thunder? We're currently hanging out on the wraparound balcony, and I think we'll probably be staying here until this storm passes, because there have been some really close lightning strikes and a lot of thunder.
Now, because we do have so much to show you today, we decided to just do a quick self-guided tour of the property, since you do have access to all the areas that the guided tour does. Now, I did listen into one of the guided tours for a little bit, and they definitely do share a lot of great information, such as the fact that Hemingway lived here from 1931 to 1939, and that's a period that he described as his most prolific, where he wrote many of his most popular works in the writer's room right behind me. Now, we did get a chance to peek inside that room, and it was really cool. We also got to mention that there is a bookstore on site where you can purchase a bunch of Hemingway's short stories, novels, and poems.
So we kind of had no choice but to wait out this rainstorm because we are exploring Key West on our scooters, mainly because the paid parking around here is really expensive and free parking can be hard to come by. Now, if you are willing to park a little ways away from most of the businesses in the Old Town area, you can find free parking along side streets, but you have to be really careful that you don't park in a spot that's identified for a resident or along a street that does require you to pay via a kiosk or an app. A lot of people did recommend the hop on and off trolley or the conch train. Now, both of those I believe do have live narration, so you learn a lot of history about Key West, but I think we're gonna save doing that for another Key West trip when we're actually staying here. Now, this rain has lightened up, so I think we're gonna go try and get some food, and hopefully we don't get too wet in the process.
Our lunch spot today takes us to the Seaside Cafe, which is really highly rated and is also located on the same property as the southernmost house in the continental United States. In addition to that, it's also located right on the water, so it should have some really great views, and of course, it also has chickens. Now, another reason we chose this spot for lunch is because one of their specialties is a lobster pizza. Now, I do enjoy lobster and I love pizza, but honestly, the combination of the two sounds a little bit strange, so it could be terrible, but it could be great. We'll let you know what we think soon. Now, there are a couple of bars on this property, one of which is a second-story tequila bar that has some really great views of the Atlantic, but we do plan on taking you to a few bars this evening, so I probably don't need any tequila right now, but we will still show you some of the views. It looks like our food just arrived, so I better get down there.
So the white sauce and the garlic sauce on here go great with the lobster, and I really like this crust.
Now, I am really impressed with how much lobster they put on this pizza. They really load it on there. And after seeing it and seeing Jamie's reaction, I have no doubt that I'm gonna love this. Now, that is nothing like your typical pizza, but it's fantastic. The lobster is tender, it's super buttery, and like Jamie said, the crust is great.
We just finished up our pizza, and not only does this place have great food, but we also loved sitting in the open air with the sea breeze, looking at these gorgeous palm trees with views of the water. We also think this location is great because it is less than a block from the southernmost buoy, which we showed you on our first day in Key West, and it's also less than a block from our next spot, which is the Key West Butterfly and Nature Conservatory.
Before we head to the Butterfly Conservatory, we do want to mention that while this house isn't quite as old as the Hemingway house, it was built way back in 1897, and you can actually stay here if you want to.
This is already by far the most butterflies I have seen in one space. And they're so big. They are beautiful. The big blue ones seem to fly around in small groups. They look like they're following each other. It's almost like a game of follow the leader. So you're not allowed to touch the butterflies, but the butterflies can touch you. I'm hoping that some decide to land on us. In addition to a variety of butterflies, they also house birds in here, including these two beautiful flamingos. Here's a closer look at the flamingos. They're named Rhett and Scarlet.
Holy cow.
This flamingo snuck up on us. We finally got a butterfly to land on one of us. This one liked Skylar's shirt. A couple have landed on my hands and they do tickle a little bit. We are both standing here as still as possible trying to get butterflies to land on us, and I would say it's working.
Well, this spot was definitely a highlight. We are not close to done yet. We still got several more spots to take you to, and we'll see you at the next one shortly. We've made it here to Higgs Beach, which I believe is the second highest rated beach here in Key West. And while it is over a mile away from the most touristy area in Old Town, we think it's a really nice alternative to the state park. It is more budget friendly because there is no entrance fee, and also parking is free. Now we are here on a Tuesday afternoon, and there's actually quite a few open spaces still.
While the beach here is nice, we don't think it's as pretty as the one in the state park, but it does have things like volleyball courts, a kids playground, a waterfront restaurant. But I think the highlight of this beach for us is the Key West Garden Club. It's right behind me and it's free. This place kind of feels like a continuation of the butterfly garden because it feels like we're in a jungle, but there are way less people here. Now this garden is maintained by volunteers and it's located within an old fort. There are some buildings that still have ceilings on them, but a lot of them don't. And the volunteer here told us that's because Zachary Taylor used to use this area as target practice. Some of the paths here are shaded, some of them are full sun, but because it's located right along the coast, there is a bit of a breeze, thankfully.
Now they do have a butterfly garden here at the Garden Club, and while you're definitely not going to see anywhere close to as many butterflies as you'll find at the Butterfly Conservatory, we were still able to spot quite a few. Now here in the Garden Club, they do have this little gazebo that has a really nice view of the pier behind me. You can walk out on that pier, and we were planning on doing it before the sun came out, but it's summer in Florida and it's gonna be blazing out there, so maybe a better cool weather activity.
Overall, we do think this is a good attraction, especially because it's free, as things in Key West do tend to be quite pricey. Now, because volunteers do keep this up, it runs on donations, so we're gonna go drop off ours and we'll meet you at the next spot. No joke, we have been looking for my purse for the last 10 minutes in this gardens because Skylar was in charge of it. Guess where I found it?
Our dinner spot today takes us all the way across the island, which is only about 2 miles. It's here that you'll find the Half Shell Raw Bar. They have a happy hour that runs every day from 4:30 to 6:30, and it has some really great looking food options on it. We'll see you in there. Now the happy hour here at Half Shell is known to be one of the best in Key West, and we definitely see why. They do half off a bunch of different things, including beers, wells, house wines, and all of their starters. They also have their house lager for only $2.50. I had to get that, and Jamie got a passion fruit and dragon fruit mocktail. Now this beer is nothing special, but after another hot day in the Key West sun, it's going down really smooth, and for $2.50 I really couldn't ask for anything more.
My mocktail is really fruity and delicious, but it's so sweet it's almost a dessert. We ended up ordering the conch ceviche, the crab fritters, and the lobster egg rolls. I think I'm gonna try the ceviche first. This ceviche is full of fresh veggies and large strips of conch. Now the conch is a little chewy, but that's to be expected. Conch is typically pretty chewy, and this ceviche does have a bit of a kick to it.
Now I don't know if we've ever had crab, conch, and lobster in one meal before, but I'm pretty happy about it. I'm gonna try the lobster egg roll first. That is way better than your typical egg roll. It actually has quite a bit of lobster in it, and it's very crispy. Now we've been seeing conch fritters on the menu at almost all the seafood restaurants down here in the Keys, but you don't see crab fritters at too many of them, so I'm excited to try this. So that fritter is crispy on the outside and soft and a little bit gooey on the inside. I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of crab in it, but you can still taste the crab flavor. Overall, it is good, but I think my favorite thing is the lobster egg roll, and Jamie said it was her favorite too. So our happy hour here at the Half Shell absolutely lived up to expectations. Being able to get 3 appetizers, 2 beers, and a mocktail, all for under $40 prior to tip, would be a great deal anywhere, let alone here in Key West. Now, while we do love taking you to off the beaten path spots on this channel, we couldn't do a Key West travel guide without taking you to what are arguably the 2 most famous bars on the Key. We'll see you at one of them next.
Sloppy Joe's is one of the most famous bars in America. It has live music almost all day, 365 days a year, and it's been at this location since 1937. Ernest Hemingway was known to frequent this bar, and he was friends with the owner. Supposedly, he was the one that suggested the name change to Sloppy Joe's, and every year in July, they have an Ernest Hemingway lookalike contest.
So we finally made it to the original Sloppy Joe's. They do have one in Treasure Island close to where we live, but it's not the same. The atmosphere in this place is awesome. I got a Sloppy Hoppy IPA. It's definitely quite hoppy, but pretty good.
I got a blackberry mocktail. It's kind of like a mojito with lemonade.
Now, similar to pretty much every other band we've seen in Key West, the one playing here at Sloppy Joe's was really good and definitely drew a crowd. But since we wanted to see what the late night scene was like here, we decided to move on to our next stop and come back later in the evening.
Now, while Sloppy Joe's does have a ton of history here in Key West, our next stop may have even more. Now, you may remember we said Sloppy Joe's has been in its current location since 1937, but before that, it was actually in the location of what is now Captain Tony's. Now, like Sloppy Joe's, Captain Tony's is also known for having several famous patrons over the years, probably the most famous being Jimmy Buffett and Hemingway. Now, this spot is known for having one of the best live music scenes in all of the Keys, but it does have a bit of a dark history as well, but we don't want to kill the good vibes we got going, so if you want to know more about that, you'll have to look into it yourself.
Before we even got inside, we saw that everybody was trying to throw quarters in the grouper's mouth above the sign. Supposedly, if you make a quarter in there, you have good luck on the islands. We might have to give it a try a little later.
Now, I was kind of expecting Captain Tony's to be similar to Sloppy Joe's, but honestly, this place is way dingier, way divier, and I love it. Now, it kind of reminds us of Mahuffer's, one of our favorite bars in the Tampa Bay area prior to the hurricanes.
Skylar said he needed a few beers before he would be able to perform optimally on the quarter throwing. I don't know if I agree with him, but we're gonna have a few drinks here.
Now, while this place may be divey, it definitely does not have dive bar beer prices, but for $7.50, you can get one of their signature beers in a souvenir cup, and I definitely want to have something to remember this place by, so I was happy to pay it. So we decided that Jamie should try the grouper toss first. A lot of people have been doing it backwards, so that's what she's trying, but I'm not sure if it's the proper form. Oh, she hit its mouth. That is already closer than anyone else I've seen, and it was only her second try. You lost the quarter already? We found the quarter in the dirty water. She's trying again.
All right, looks like Skylar is going with a different strategy. Oh, that looked kind of close.
So after thinking about it, I think the overhead throw is the only way to do it, to not be standing out in the street. And it's probably not safe to be out there right now.
Car! Yeah, I don't know if that's a superior strategy or not. Oh!
So I'm pretty sure with a couple more beers and a couple more hours, we would eventually be able to get a quarter into that grouper. But I'm pretty sure we were close enough to the guy that did make it to have some of that luck rub off on us. So we're gonna head on to our next spot.
We made it back to Sloppy Joe's to find another great band and an energetic crowd. And after a little more liquid courage, it was time to hit the dance floor. Now, while our 3 days in Key West would soon be coming to an end, your time in the Keys doesn't have to, as you can join us on the rest of our Florida Keys adventures by clicking here right now. Thanks for watching!